To continue the second part of our chapter, we already discussed what does racial profiling mean and what or who are the secret deviants. Now, falsely accused, these are the people who did not break any rules, but they are treated as if they are deviants, which means that they are falsely accused by the people that they are deviants, but they're actually not. Now, witch hunt, the term witch hunt refers to the campaign that is used to identify, investigate, and correct behavior that undermines a group or a country. Now, let's say we have a group of deviants in the society. They do not break the laws, they do not break the rules, therefore we cannot punish them. What do? There's a certain campaign that is called witch hunt, which its only task is to try to investigate why are these people doing so, what are they doing, what are the reasons behind their actions, and then try to correct these deviant behaviors. Now, white-collar crime, these are crimes committed by respected people of high social statuses in the course of their occupation. Like, for example, if a doctor commits a crime like stealing organs while they are performing or he's performing a certain surgery, or a teacher, for example, who does not grade exam papers, for example, and put the grades automatically, or a bank teller or an accountant who tried to steal or tried to falsely change some accounts in the bank. These are called white-collar crimes. Why? Because the crimes are done by people who are highly educated, people who are respected, people who are of high social status. And it's in the course of their occupation. They did this mistake or crime in their jobs. Now, corporate crime is the crime committed by a corporation as it competes with other companies for market share and profits. Now, corporations are businesses. Usually, they keep competing for the sake of profit or money. Sometimes these competitions go wrong, or sometimes these competitions are not fair for the sake of collecting money. Now, a confederate is someone who works in cooperation with a person conducting a research study. Do you remember the witch hunt? In a witch hunt, one of the key people is a confederate. Why? Because this confederate works in cooperation with another person and they conduct a research study to find out the reasons of investigation of why do these deviant people start to act or behave or look in this way. Now, a constructionist approach is a sociological approach that focuses on the process by which groups, activities, conditions, or artifacts became defined as problems. So the Confederates, they work side by side with a person who conducts a research study. The research study is about deviants and people who are deviant from their society. After they conduct the research to find out about the reasons, they start looking at the people, they start looking at the groups of people, their activities, what are they doing, what exactly is deviant in their actions or in their appearances, the conditions, where do they live, how old are they, and the artifacts or the reasons of why these people precisely became deviant. So a confederate uses the constructionist approach in order to find out solution to the problem of deviance. And the confederate is, along with the constructionist approach, is part of the process or the campaign which we call the witch hunt. Now, the claims maker, these are the people who articulate and promote the claims and tend to gain in some way if the targeted audience accepts their claims as true. After the confederate uses the constructionist approach and collects all the necessary information on the deviant people, the case or the conditions moves to the claims maker. These people, they find a reason or a promotion that they have a solution for these deviant people. They know why are they doing this, and they know what's the solution to their problem. So they go to these deviant people, they tell them what they're trying to do, and they offer help. Once they offer help, they go to the second stage, which is conformity. Once the deviant person is okay with the help, once the deviant person recognizes that he is different from the society and there are certain rules that he needs to follow, if the deviant person agrees, he starts bit by bit following the group conformity or following the group rules that his society wants. Because sometimes the deviant people are not aware that they are violating some social rules. Now, a structural strain is any situation in which the goals have unclear limits or the people are unsure whether or not the society values their goals, or the opportunities for meeting the goals remains closed to a significant portion of the population. What does that mean? Why do people become deviant? Why do people do not listen to the rules from the beginning? There are three reasons. This is called the structural strain. The first reason is that they have certain images, they have certain visions or goals, but they did not know what were the limits. Like, for example, Gothic or emo people. They like sweatshirts, they like black color, they like skulls, but they do not know their limits. There's a certain limit or a certain extent where they need to stop. No one told them. This is why they start to act and look differently with their hair and their eyes and the piercings. There were no limits set to this group. The second condition in structural strain is that the people are not happy with the society. They are left out in the society, whether they are groups, whether they are at work. They feel left out, so they tend to find themselves in somewhere else. And finally, uh, they are a section of the population who are not appreciated. For example, they cannot find good jobs, they cannot find good education, they are poor, they do not have good living conditions. So they are a certain portion of the population who are not given enough opportunities. Now, innovation is when the people accept the cultural goals, but they reject the limitations. Innovation means that you try to think outside the box. You try to create. You know what are the goals, you know what are the targets, you know what are the limits, but you refuse to follow the same path like the people. You try to innovate, you try to think outside the box. Ritualism is the rejection of cultural goals, but you adhere to your society. This is the opposite of innovation. Ritualism means that you do not like the cultural goals, you do not like your society's goals, you do not like the society and its rules, but you are going to stick to it because this is what's right and this is what you're supposed to do because of the group conformity. So innovation and ritualism are the total opposite. In innovation, you follow the goals. Your target is the same cultural goal as your society, but you find different paths or ways to reach your goals. Ritualism, you do not accept the goals, but anyways, you're following the same path because this is what everyone else is doing. Now, patriotism is the rejection of both the ritualism and the innovation. It's rejecting the cultural goals and the means of achieving the goals. These are the people who do not like anything. They do not like the society rules. They do not like the way people are abiding by these rules. They do not like anything in their society, and they're not willing to follow the rules. Now, a higher level of patriotism is rebellion. This is the rejection of the cultural goals and the actions, which is patriotism, but instead they do not just reject, no, they reject and they try to act. They try to introduce a new set of goals and means. So again, what is the difference between patriotism and rebellion? Patriotism is kind of negative. You do not like it, but you stay still. You do not like the way people are thinking. You do not like the way people are working. You do not like the way people are acting in your society, and you do not like everything that's happening in the society. Not the goals and not the way we achieve the goals. But you do not try to come up with something else. Rebellion, you do not like the ideas, you do not like the goals, you do not like how people are acting to achieve these goals, and you're going to try to find out a solution. So you introduce a new set of goals and you try to make them work so that you do not use the old social rules. It comes from the word rebel, and of course you are all familiar with this word. Finally, a deviant subculture. This is a little bit higher level than a deviant person. As you all know, a subculture is a part of the culture or a small group within the culture. But this group is usually highly active and it has a large number of people. A deviant subculture is a dangerous sign. It means that the culture is weak enough and that a large group of the culture is growing deviant or is growing away from the main culture. So deviant subculture they are groups that are part of the larger society, but the members do not listen to the norms and the values of the culture, and they have goals and norms of their own. This is the end of all of chapter 7. As you can see, it only talks about definitions and it only talks about one main concept, which is what is the difference between deviance and crime, and what are the types and levels of deviance. Please listen to the video again and write down the parts which you did not understand so that we can discuss them later. Thank you.